Hi everyone! Today we're going to help our friend Michael tell a story about when he went on an incredible adventure to a magical hidden world. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Michael who loved to play hide and seek with his friends after school. One day, while playing in an old abandoned house near his school, Michael discovered a secret passage behind a bookshelf that led to a wooden ladder. Startled, Michael looked around to see where he was, but everything was dark and silent. He called out for help, but his voice sounded funny and strange, as if it were coming from someone else. Michael smiled and held out his hand, but the creature just sniffed his fingers cautiously before hopping back a few steps. He had no idea where it was taking him, but he trusted that it meant him no harm. When they reached the clearing, Michael's jaw dropped in surprise. He wanted to return to them and share his incredible experiences. So he went back to King Floof and asked for his help. He missed the wonders he had seen and the friends he had made in the hidden world. Will he ever return to the hidden world and see his old friends again? Only time will tell. One day, while rummaging through his things, Michael came across a small, strange-looking seed that he had picked up during his adventures. And if you want to hear more amazing tales, stay tuned for more adventures. Thanks for joining us and happy reading. As he held it in his hand, he remembered the beautiful flower that had only bloomed once a year. Could this be a way to bring a piece of the hidden world back with him? Excited at the possibility, Michael planted the seed in his garden and watered it every day. And soon enough, something amazing happened. A tiny sprout emerged from the ground and grew into a beautiful flower that looked exactly like the one he had seen in the hidden world. Overjoyed, Michael realized that his adventure had brought him more than just memories. He had brought back a piece of magic to share with those around him. And that made him feel better about being away from the hidden world. The king understood that it was time for Michael to go home, so he gave him a magic door that would transport him back to the human world. With a heavy heart, Michael said goodbye to the king and all the creatures he had befriended. He stepped through the magic door and found himself back in the old abandoned house. In front of him stood a magnificent castle made of sparkling crystal. It looked like something out of a fairy tale, and Michael couldn't believe his eyes. Before he could say a word, the creature bowed its head and said, "Your Majesty, King Floof, I present to you our guest who wishes to speak with you." The king turned around and looked at Michael, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "Ah, another visitor from the human world," he said with a smile. "I've been expecting you." Confused, Michael could only stare at the king in disbelief. How did he know Michael was coming, and why was he expecting him? Determined to find answers, Michael decided to take a chance. He bowed his head and said, "Your Majesty, I need your help." "I want to go home," the king chuckled and replied, "Don't worry, my young friend. I will help you return home. But first, I invite you to stay here for a while and enjoy all that my kingdom has to offer." Michael hesitated for a moment, but then he decided to accept the king's offer. After all, he had no idea how long it would take to find a way home, and he might as well make the best of the situation. Then suddenly, it did something unexpected. It started to speak. He discovered a forest where the trees whispered secrets to each other, and they told him funny jokes when he scratched their bark. He also attended a festival where all the creatures came together to dance and sing in celebration of the harvest moon. It was a joyous occasion with delicious food, games, and fireworks that lit up the night sky. But perhaps the most memorable part of Michael's visit was when the king took him on an adventure to find a rare and beautiful flower that only bloomed once a year. The journey was full of challenges, from crossing a raging river to climbing a steep mountain, but Michael never gave up. And in the end, he was rewarded with the sight of the elusive flower, which looked like a glowing orb of pure white light. It was a truly magical moment that Michael knew he would never forget. "Hello," it said in a squeaky voice. "What is your name?" Startled, Michael jumped back and asked, "Did you just talk? How?" The creature blinked its big, round eyes and replied, "Of course I talked. What do you mean?" Realizing that he needed to find another way to communicate, Michael tried writing the question down on a piece of paper, but the creature stopped him with a wave of its hand. "Oh, you want to ask me something?" it said. "Just ask me and I'll try to answer." Taking a deep breath, Michael blurted out, "How can I get home?" The creature looked at him for a moment without saying a word. Then it turned around and gestured with its paw for Michael to follow it. Then suddenly, a bright light filled the sky, making Michael shield his eyes and look away. When he could see again, he gasped in amazement. Excited to see where the ladder went, Michael started to climb down, one step at a time. Above him, trees taller than any he had ever seen reached up into the sky, their branches laden with sparkling jewels that glittered in the sunlight. In the distance, a river sparkled like a ribbon woven with silver thread, and the air was filled with the sound of birds singing sweet songs. As Michael stood there taking in the beauty of his surroundings, he noticed some strange-looking creatures hopping around in the grass. They had furry bodies, long ears, and bushy tails, and they seemed to be having great fun. Michael waved to them, but they didn't seem to notice him, so he walked closer to get a better look. As he descended, the light above him grew dimmer and dimmer until it vanished completely, leaving him in total darkness. But Michael wasn't afraid. Instead, he felt a sense of adventure and couldn't wait to see what was at the bottom. When he finally reached the end of the ladder and stepped off, he realized that he had landed on soft, squishy grass. In front of him stretched a beautiful field full of colorful flowers that looked like giant rainbows. One of the creatures hopped over to Michael and tilted its head, studying him curiously. As they walked through the tall grass, Michael noticed that the creature was leading him towards a clearing in the distance. Over the next few days, Michael had many wonderful experiences in the magical hidden world. But as much as Michael enjoyed his time in the hidden world, he also missed his family and friends back home. At first, Michael was relieved to be home, but as the days passed, he began to feel a sense of emptiness. And that's the end of Michael's amazing adventure to a magical hidden world. But who knows what other exciting places he might discover in the future? Hey there, young readers! If you enjoyed listening to Michael's story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up.